And welcome to part 2 of my I fucked up my audio recording and now I have to do fucking after commentary, god damn it, session of Vampyr, which is 3 bloody hours long, so I'm nowhere near finished with this whole piece of crap, and I am very angry at that. Yeah, it's not the best name in the world, but what you gonna do? In the meantime, enjoy the sight of me fighting some fucking vampire hunters. Because seriously, fuck these guys. I mean, come on. They make Isran and the bloody Dawnguard in Skyrim seem almost generous and tolerant in comparison. And I've spent enough time on my own personal playthroughs, none of the ones that have made it on the channel. I spent enough time on my personal playthroughs ranting about the Dawnguard that I am not particularly fond of them. But these guys make them look like the beacon of tolerance and non-prejudice. Heck, these guys make Ulfric look like he's not racist. And that's saying something. Because Ulfric fucking Stormcloak is really goddamn racist. So, murder that guy's face. Finally. That shield he carries around is a bit of a pain. And now, I just loot some stuff. And do whatever it is I'm doing. I don't remember exactly where I'm trying to find my way to, but there's a bunch of these guards in the way. Oh, that's right. It was that side quest type thing. The one for finding the preacher, the little assistant of that preacher. That's what I was trying to do. So right now I'm just sort of wandering around and trying to find my way there. That's the long and short of what's happening at this point in time. And looting dead body, of course, because dead body looting is a thing. And now it's time to go around eating rats, because my blood meter is at about 50%, and I like to keep it full when I can, so my current solution in this playthrough is to eat lots of rats. For the very simple reason that nobody gives a damn about rats. And there's not always going to be citizens around that are enough of a bastard for me to justify draining them dry or anything. And right there, that little thing with the rat was basically an example of the times the game doesn't realize I've already drained an animal dry and it thinks they are still there, so shows them in my vampire vision. Is the essentials of what's going on there. More vampire hunter telling me to fuck off and then attacking, which leads into the fact that there are actually 2 of the bastards, which then leads into the fact there are 3, and annoyingly enough 2 of these guys have torches, which is going to be the biggest annoyance because, as we've learned so far in this game, vampires do not like fire. It tends to hurt. So these hunters carry around torches to burn my ass. And they got me there, so just to remind anyone who's forgotten what actually getting burnt by fire does, the long and short of it is that getting burnt by fire neutralizes my healing abilities, because I have some, at least slightly minor, ability to heal myself and prevent too much damage, because I do kind of regenerate a very minuscule bit of health, and fire disrupts that. and forces me to use up my blood supply to heal myself using my ability in the quick slot 1. And there we have my first use of the blood spear, because I've had a lot of these abilities for a good long time, but I just never really ended up using them. I'm not sure why. I think it must be down to the fact that I'm just not all that good when it comes to micromanaging the abilities in games like this, where I will pick up an ability, or it'll be possible for me to do something, and I just won't do it. Like, one example of this is in Witcher 2, where at this point in that particular playthrough, I'm about 67 parts in. And yet, I have only really started to make use of the crafting and making my own gear and upgrading things and all of that stuff. I've only really started to make use of armor crafting and that sort of thing around part 66. Just because I forgot that it was there, or I always ended up selling my gear. Because I thought it'd be better to have some more cash or something. And I'm dead. Which is going to drain the entirety of my blood supply. Because of course. Back in the Pembroke Hospital area. And at this point, I think I basically decided that going after that preacher assistant guy was not worth the bother right now, and that I would just come back to it another time. So I essentially decided I would just go back and do the main quest thing. And right here I get into a fight with one of those skull, essentially vampires that have gone crazy. I don't do a lot of damage, but then he starts chasing me. And fucking bites me. I've said it multiple times before, but those jumping bite attacks are some of the most annoying abilities anywhere in this game, and they just piss me off. But now, Mr. Skull is going to be a good friend by helping us out. He's going to fight those vampire hunters. Right there. We just sit there and watch. We'll fight each other a bit, and then we will take advantage of where things go in response to that.
I'd step back, sir. Stop right now! More and more of these blood leeches every night. Aye, but the gods recruit more and more.
So, right now in the video, I think I'm a little bit lost. I've gotten kind of turned around, trying to find my way back to the Whitechapel area to continue looking into this whole blackmail thing and cure a few people's diseases, possibly. But I've managed to get a little lost. Not entirely sure how to get there. That or I'm just taking the long way. It could be either, really. I'm honestly not totally sure. But we run past that one ruined guard to this gate, only to discover this gate is locked and I'm not supposed to go in there. Plus, the one I am supposed to go to, the gate that I'm supposed to be using, is over towards where those two guards are hanging out right now. Makes matters slightly tricky because I'll have to get past them. Or it's me, so I'll probably just end up bumbling my way through and killing their asses. Or that would be how it happens in most cases, but right here I display a level of stealth that I didn't know I possessed. And completely slip by those two vampire hunters without them even noticing me. So I'm not entirely certain if that's me being incredibly stealthy for the way that I usually play these types of games, or the guards just being incompetent buffoons. Because honestly, it could be either one. And apparently I decided after not managing to find that hospital that I would give it a go to this other quest, or finding some trinket, because that merchant guy had told me how he'd been trying to pick up some new loot for supplies at this warehouse, but got chased off, and we got an objective to go and check it out, and that's the one that I've got selected right now. So either I've decided to do it at this stage, or I'm considering doing it. I'm not totally sure. And there's some kid over here that I decide to talk to, just because I want to unlock as many characters in every district as I possibly can.
Are you all right?
The bastard hit the wall next to me. I don't even know if he meant to miss.
If you've been hurt, I can
that's
help you.
good.
I'm a doctor.
Name's Albert. Remember it. Now, bugger off.
Apparently someone's been shooting at this kid, something to that effect. And he has fatigue. Fortunately, that's a type of illness we can fairly easily cure.
Goodbye.
And I just decide to not have any conversation with him at this point. Not sure why, but I just couldn't be bothered apparently.
Your life away. What?
And this would be the fellow that shot at him.
Not the best
I
thing
think
to
it's
do,
his
would you
dad,
say?
but I'm not actually certain about that.
Who are
But
you?
that's what the conversation led me to believe, that this was his dad who shot at his kid with the gun he has. Because he got mad about something.
Look, I'm not a violent man. I'm Benjamin Palmer, doctor. And no one can help me. Not even you.
And seems to think we can't help him. And he has a migraine. I don't think we actually have the ability to cure migraines yet. That's, if I remember right, one of the level 3 cures, and we haven't unlocked those yet, so that'll have to wait. There's a bunch of stuff we can ask him, but most of it requires hints.
What can you tell me about this
But
place?
we can ask him to tell us about
This
this
is where I
place.
used to
That's
live.
an option,
This is where I
certainly.
live now.
As
You
well
mean
as
you used
inquiring
to
about
have
the
a
fact that
better
he apparently
Yeah,
used
had
to
a
have a
wife, a
better
home,
life.
and a job.
Which he
I
did.
used to have a name.
He had a wife, home, and
Now I'm just
job, and even a name, and now he says he's just Ben the Tramp. So, it went downhill pretty fast, and I was explaining at this point I'm not going to ask about the have you no family thing, because he kind of explained
Could
that already.
focus for a moment and tell me your troubles.
I'm sick, broke and my son just stole my pills. Everything's coming up roses.
Personal question. Why did you shoot this boy?
Whatever the boy did, I'm sure he didn't deserve a public execution.
I swear
And
I did
after
one
this, that will be basically it for this conversation, because we don't really have any other options to explore until we manage to obtain a few hints. I mean, we could eat him, but I'm not going to, because
A gun,
even if he is a little
alcohol, and
annoying,
bad temper
he's not
make a
exactly
terrible
enough of a
cocktail,
bad
so
person to
goodbye for
warrant
now.
being eaten. So at this stage, I just kind of decide to look around some more, I think. And see if I can't find some more people to talk to or anything. Or even if I can possibly find anywhere that sells me certain things, because at this point in the video I wasn't actually sure whether or not I wasn't actually sure what I needed to do to figure out how to get that third level of medicine, so
Actually,
I thought that maybe some of the merchants carried medicine blueprints or something like that, and that I needed to go find them and buy that.
why
But
didn't I hear about it
as I
during my
found
studies?
out in the meantime, basically by
Jonathan Reid,
Googling it,
Doctor
because I had no
Jonathan
clue,
Oh,
I
my
just
brother
wanted to
has
know.
spoken of
What I
your
found out
research,
is
sir.
there's actually a
I'm Loretta
mission that I have to
Swanner,
go
and it's
on,
always a pleasure to meet a
and
fellow
once it
healer.
finishes, some of the stuff in and after that mission will give me that last set of cures. So that little side quest I was sort of half doing for finding the preacher's missing assistant or whatever, that will actually give me those level 3 cures. So I'm gonna have to look into that at some point.
Tell me, who intrigues you most in Whitechapel?
The region itself is something to see, but I would say Camellia the mute florist who gives away her flowers.
Is there anyone I should avoid?
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody bastard remorselessly exploits poor migrants as soon as they get here.
And this Loretta Swansburg is selling what she claims is medicine, but I have a feeling that, I had a feeling, I should say, when I first met her, that she was just basically a phony trying to make money off of people's misery and all,
I'd like
and
to see
that
what
sort of
kind
thing.
medicine you're selling.
And I would have liked an opportunity to say something about it, but there's no such thing. Potassium permogenate here. I end up buying quite a bit of it because this is a primary ingredient that I'm going to need in order to be able to basically it's a primary ingredient in fatigue cures and a lot of medicines, so it's pretty valuable to me to be able to get that so I can make more medicine and cure more people and get the districts back up to snuff again.
Gangs of rude.
That's the sort of thing that I'm looking for right now, seeing as it lets me make more types of medicine. Can't guarantee that I'll get enough of it, of course, but I am looking for it at the moment, just so I can cure a lot of people.
I can't believe I'm
And of
doing
course,
this.
time to eat more rats, and for the game to not realize that some rats are dead and have been consumed.
Despicable.
Because of course.
Drugs for the sick and suffering.
Me? I'll not die in some piss-stinking alley reeking worse than a week-old lappy.
And at this point, I really did not want to go into the main objective thing. Just because I think I'd kind of decided that I wanted to see if I could cure a decent chunk of the local populace in this area before I did that. To start getting the area back on its feet, because it's still kind of barely in the stable metric, if I remember right. I sort of make a brief go at trying to find where this warehouse is at, but there's a couple of Pridwin guard in between me and there, and I just end up deciding to not bother with it. Because while I'm sure I could take them out, it would take a while and be kind of annoying. And quite honestly, I enjoy the travel in this game. And going from place to place and discovering new things. I enjoy all of that a lot more than the combat in several regards. So I just want to do more traveling and interaction than finding someone and cracking their skull open. Just seems like the better approach to take, in my opinion. And into the hideout we go, because hideout, and because I need to craft more medicine to heal up a couple of people. So, up the stairs, and over here to the crafting station. Once I finally check who needs what. We got one person with cold, one with bronchitis, one with headache, and one with fatigue. And I think the cold and fatigue... Sorry, no. Headache, we don't know the cure for. Migraine, we don't know the cure for. Bronchitis, I can cure. Fatigue, I can cure. And cold, I can cure. Once I have all the proper supplies, but that is basically it. Can't cure everything just yet because I haven't unlocked all the recipes. So now, it's the case that I'm gonna have to run around and find a bunch more supplies and some extra gear to be able to craft the medicines that I need. That, or spend all of my money on these components. Because a couple of the merchants in town have the medical supplies that we'll need to craft those. But I think I'm basically done in the hideout now, and I briefly considered going after those couple of skull in the hallway over there and just finishing them off, because merely having them in my hideout is a bit of a pain in the ass. So I thought about doing something about it, but at the end of the day I decided it wasn't really worth my time right then and there. I think I might end up going back to it at some point during this recording, but I'm not sure if I did that or not. I could be mistaken. And we're on mission 3 of chapter 3 of the main quest. I don't actually know how many chapters or missions there are in this game. I'm sure I'll find out eventually, but probably not a massive amount.
Its effectiveness has been proven by many. Even the flu is no match for the Swanborough Corner.
And we have Miss Maybe a fraud and profiting off of people's mercies. Or people's desperation, rather. We have Mrs. I'm profiting off your desperation, deal with it, lady. Over there, selling her medical supplies. But we're going to look for the other merchant now. The one who was over there getting harassed by Joe when we first arrived in the area.
I don't have your money. Come on, Barrett, you know the game. You pay for peace of mind. Can't you just look the other way this week, Joe? Come on.
You are blinded by your false faith, imprisoned by your daily routine, unable to see the true horror around you.
And now we're over here by the church. So I'm heading for that gate that should get me into the cemetery type area behind said church. Our poet friend Mr. Nethercott is in the area that I'm heading to now. And what I need now is to have a word with him. As you can see, he has the cold, and we have just put together a cure for the cold. So, I'm going to be curing him. Not because I plan on eating the man, mostly just because Dr. Reid is a good fellow and likes doing good deeds. That's the bulk of the reason why we have decided to help these people out. Just because we enjoy doing ourselves some good deeds. So, you say you're fine? I don't believe you. Have some medicine.
Your appetite for words and macabre beauty, sir. But you should be more careful.
Because that's the doctory thing to do. If someone says they're fine, you don't believe them and you prescribe them medicine anyways.
I'll leave you alone, sir.
20th century medical logic at its very finest. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? He's recovering. Albert Palmer over there has himself a little bit of fatigue. Unfortunately, we can't cure his dad yet because we're not able to make migraine cures, but good old Albert there, we can cure. Seeing as all Albert has is fatigue. And that's pretty easy to cure, provided we can find the kid, because these people tend to wander around town quite a bit. And that can be a touch on the annoying side. Okay, that would be our reporter, who we've already cured. No reason to cure him again. He hasn't caught anything new yet. Though I wouldn't be surprised if he does, seeing as he doesn't seem to know the bloody meaning of rest. Unlock this gate to Whitechapel Street. And we have vampire hunters over here, because everywhere has fucking vampire hunters. And these guys are such a pain. I said it once, but I'll say it again. Seriously. They make the Dawn Guard look tolerant, and they make Ulfric look not racist. Which is quite the achievement, really. Really, really is.
You are blinded by your false faith, imprisoned by your daily routine.
Yes, as I said before, Benji has a migraine, so we don't have the ability to cure that yet. But once I find his kid, we will be offering up the cure. Seeing as we actually have it on us and all, I may as well.
I should never have taken up my father's business.
But I think we're rolling on towards the end of this video, so see you for the next one.
Effectiveness has been